Hey, BookTube.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. This is the
I don't even mean that.
What?
I do mean it to all you, but it's been a crap Christmas. Just saying.
It really hasn't.
No, not present-wise. It's been amazing. But I've been at work for all Christmas Eve and Christmas Day till 11 o'clock. Just saying.
And she has to work New Year's Eve and New Year's
And
Day.
New Year's Day. Till
Closing.
11 o'clock.
Yeah. She's pretty excited. So this is the Christmas edition of Book Haul.
I just want to apologise for my appearance.
I've been trying to get her to do this video for 2 days, and there's been plenty of times when she was all ready to go, and then we just decided against it.
I've been sick for like 3 weeks now, and I'm fed up. So I've just been sulking and reading all my Christmas books, which has cheered me up immensely.
And I was just on the phone with a buddy, Sanders, and we were talking about my gripes with The Walking Dead, and she's so cheeky and irritated, she started yelling from across the room, "That's your ADHD!" And it, like, so she's in rare form tonight, so this should be fun.
Oh, I'm fed up, folks.
She's fed up, folks.
But I got some amazing books, so there's always a silver lining, right? High five. Oh, that was terrible.
Well, I was looking at that. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You could start. I've got a hot water bottle and I really don't need it.
Oh, she's burning up.
Okay,
so first book I got here. Hang on, it's super heavy.
Hey, you know what you haven't got? Your 2 other presents.
I shipped those on my last video. Because they're not books.
One of them's book related.
I know, and I showed it on the last video, and I was all... Okay. All right. Look at this beast. Them that lives by their guns. By Carol John Daly. This is volume 1. And it's a 3-volume set. And look at the pretty one. I want all of them, so it'll say 1, 2, 3. But this is basically all the Race Williams stories, or at least the first chunk of them. But it also has 3 Gun Terry and a couple other little stories that came before Race Williams. But Carol John Daly is the one who created the hard-boiled detective genre before Dashiell Hammett, before Raymond Chandler. He was the biggest selling name in Black Mask magazine. Like, if his name was on the cover, the price or the number of copies sold would shoot up. And he kind of just... What the fuck is happening? Oh.
Because you're not really in it.
I'm in it. I have a giant head. I don't know. But, I total train derail.
Sorry,
it's
that's
okay.
Totally my fault.
No, it's alright. But yeah, it's history and amazingness, and there really wouldn't be this genre at all if it hadn't been for him and Race Williams. So it's just sad that he kind of got thrown by the wayside.
What happened to him? Was he just like...
I think what it was that there was the first editor of Black Mask really liked him. Didn't really like him, or that's not right. Didn't really like his stories, but they sold. So he always had him in there. And then when the next editor came in, he's the one who kind of found Dashiell Hammett and a lot of the other guys that made Black Mask famous, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when they started putting omnibuses and stuff like that together in like paperback and hardcover and stuff like that, he purposefully left Carol John Daly out because he wasn't one of his.
Oh.
So I think that's kind of where people lost him, and a lot of his stuff was never really put out, especially the Race Williams stuff, until these books came out. So unless you collected like the pulps, like you wouldn't even know.
Missed it.
Yeah. So
that sucks, doesn't it?
yeah, so I'm really excited. I am that far into it.
Ready to go.
Yeah, but like this book looks really big, and it's only 650 pages. Like the paper, I think, is a little thicker than normal, but
oh, I love that sound.
So, yeah,
ooh, I don't know where to start.
I screamed when I opened that.
You did.
Screamed like a girl.
Yeah. I don't know what to. I'll start with these ones.
Oh. I thought you were going for me.
Was she not?
No, she was just trying to get away from you laying on her.
No, I wasn't. She's looking for a bowl.
Oh.
There it is. Get it, Sally.
Later, jerk.
Later. Okay. Look at what my beautiful husband got me. It's the cloth-covered version. Moby Dick, but not only Moby Dick.
Are you going through all of them?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Frankenstein. Look at the hearts. I've wanted this for so long. And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'm lucky. So now, I just have to decide what to do with them and where to put them because they're so beautiful. And they've got this one has the beautiful, oh, you can't really see that. The beautiful ink drawings in there.
Ooh.
I know. I haven't read this for years. And I've had my beady eye on them for such a long time. And I didn't think I was going to get them. Oh, look at that. Oh, Moby Dick. I mentioned that I got this at work and everyone laughed at me.
No, they laughed because you said you collect Moby Dick.
Well, more fool them, I say.
I say so too.
Yes, the jerks.
Bunch of assholes.
So they're beautiful, and people have seen all these before, but I'm so happy I've got them. Oh.
So now she has to have all of them.
Yeah.
We got to get you a whole collection.
Penguin classics. Oh my gosh. I don't know where to put them where they're going to look beautiful. Like, I don't want them to be wasted.
They're not going to be wasted. I think bedroom bookcase.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because you want to show them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Also, I've just pulled half a whale.
Babe! She just pulled half the whale off, getting the sticker off the back.
That's not my fault, that's the sticker fault.
Breathe on it.
We also were supposed to be reorganising bookshelves this past couple of days, but I've basically sat on this sofa right here with a hot water bottle and done nothing else.
That's not true. She cleaned a bunch of stuff and got mad at me for laying on the floor.
True.
That happened.
You know, after Christmas when you have millions of Amazon boxes, when you have millions of Amazon boxes around.
Here it comes.
Well, ours were just thrown over the balcony down onto the drive.
Not on the drive. They were all with the trash cans.
With the trash cans is like a loose description of where they were. So I had to use my little cutter from work and put them all neatly in the right place.
I can't believe you did that.
What?
I don't know. I got the action adventure plot genie. So now I have a third plot genie book.
Which ones have you got now?
I have the normal plot genie index. The detective mystery
Oh, the detective
and
mystery. What's
action
the normal
adventure.
one?
It's like the one that came out before they did all the genre
Oh, until they
ones.
kind of made it more specific.
And there's that scary guy with his robot.
I love that picture.
Yeah.
My parents got you these, didn't they?
Yeah. That's terrifying.
They said to me before Christmas, my dad was like, "Do you think I would like do you think he'd like a bookcase?" And I was like, "Yeah, we could always do with bookcases." And then I suddenly realised that was a huge mistake. And I was like, no, I'm sorry I said that. He'd really like books more, I think. I think he would have just been like,
I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, if you just got a bookcase, you would have been
It would have been fine. Like, I would still have been happy.
Yeah, but
like,
that would suck.
What would I have been reading the last couple days?
Okay.
You're up.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah. I think she got more books than I did.
Yep, I think I did.
Yep.
Okay, now this one, I don't know if you've seen this picture. Christina Baker Klein, A Piece of the World. Was this from you? This is from my mum and dad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a photo. I watched a documentary ages ago.
About pizza of the world.
Hang on, I can't. I'm so bad with names. To Christina Olsen, the entire world was her family's remote farm in the small coastal town of Cushing, Maine. Born in the home her family had lived in for generations and increasingly incapacitated by illness, Christina seemed destined for a small life. Instead, for more than 20 years, she was host and inspiration for the artist Andrew Wyeth and became the subject of one of the best-known paintings of the 20th century, Christina's World. It's a story about burdens and blessings of family history and how an artist and muse can come together to forge a new and timeless legacy. And this is like Andrew Wyeth, that me and my dad used to love looking at this. And one of the pictures is this girl and she's just lying. It's like very similar to this. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a girl lying in the grass. She's not on here, but she is on the original painting. And you wonder why she's like lying in the grass looking at the thing. But she was crippled, you know, she couldn't she was, what's the proper word for it now?
Legs not work.
Paraplegic?
Yeah.
And she used to crawl everywhere to get about. And the painting
was yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
The painting was of her, and this is a book all about that, and their family life and everything that went on.
Why is she not on the cover?
I don't know. Probably because it's copyright or something, I don't know.
Oh.
But I used to look at that painting all the time when I was growing up, and I used to wonder what was going on and never had a clue. And me and my dad watched this documentary about it, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. So that's that one.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Get on with it.
I always think she's gonna like come in and do some backup or something, but then the thing that comes out of her mouth is like, "What the fuck are you doing? Hurry up, get on with it." Okay.
It's because you always do it, and it's always funny for like the first couple of seconds, and I think, no, he's still going.
Okay, this is Lost Los Angeles, and look at that shot. Look at that.
Beautiful.
This book is absolutely gorgeous.
I love looking at all the old vintage photographs and stuff.
It's like a bunch of shit that is not there anymore, basically. Look at the end pages on that.
I know.
Pretty
Beautiful.
sweet. They have one for Las Vegas, too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They actually have a bunch. They have some for...
Look at those ones, the end papers as well.
I know. They have San Francisco, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Las Vegas, Detroit, Baltimore, Seattle, and New York.
Wow.
And I would probably really like all of those. And then this is the end pages. You can't really see. But like, a lot of this is like where I grew up, and there are things that like I never knew about. Like there were canals in LA, like Little Venice kind of thing. That I don't know. I guess it's just basically this book was very depressing, but very cool. Like it tells you like when something was built and when it was like torn down, kind of thing. And
he
the
read
history.
it and he was like, "Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this," and then by the end of it, he was like, "Oh, wow, that was depressing."
It like got so sad, like. And then there were some things like I didn't know, like the original Wrigley Field is not from Chicago; it's from L.A. I didn't know that.
What's Wrigley Field?
Where the Cubs play in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some really amazing stuff. And then when they decided to build Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, like where we would pass on the 5, there were a ton of houses there. And they just kicked everybody out and tore down the houses.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, all these people were, like, homeless with no money. Just because. And there's, like, I was trying to find out, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just find it, but, like, there's, like, all these bulldozers and, like, some people excited and some people, like, oh, right here. Like, you just fucking tore down our fucking neighborhood to build a fucking ballpark.
Wow.
You know? Like...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just shit I didn't know about. And, like, streetcars in LA. And it's like, I obviously don't remember streetcars being in LA because they were taken out in 1963. But, like, when I read, like, Charles Bukowski... and stuff, he talks about jumping on the streetcars. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? But then, like, the further you go, like, it goes into, like, the 80s and 90s and shit that, like, I'm familiar with. And it's, like, then just shit got fucking depressing.
That recently got
Yeah. I don't know. So, but this book is so fucking cool. Like, I originally wanted it just so, because I write a lot of stuff that's kind of period-y, like noir 30s 40s kind of thing, and I just kind of wanted to get like a better idea of like things that were there that aren't there now, and it turned into like this whole other kind of like obsession kind of thing, and I'm just like kind of depressed.
It's really interesting to know all the history and everything.
Yeah.
Because the buildings were absolutely stunning as well, weren't they? A lot.
I can't believe how gorgeous the buildings were. And some of them were only there for like the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
They used to like tear it down after a season.
Yeah, did they?
And rebuild it. Like something different.
Oh my god.
Like the actual pit where the orchestra was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, it is.
You know? And like,
I always think of LA as being quite like new as well. And it, like it is, but the like
they would do these crazy Art Deco buildings and then like tear them down within 10 years.
I know.
You know?
Such a shame.
It's just like, it's, I don't know. It's bonkers.
Very interesting though.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Here's another. I've probably told you all before about my obsession.
It's a real page turner.
Good one. The Extraordinary Life and Momentous Times of JMW Turner by Franny Moyle. Now, I'm a huge fan. I've always loved Turner's stuff.
And Fanny means front butt in
This
England.
is Franny, not Fanny.
Oh.
Sorry. It does mean that, though. And this is just like an amazing... let me see. J.N., the life of one of Western art's most admired, misunderstood and celebrated painters. JMW Turner is one of the most important figures in Western art, and his visionary work initiated a revolution in landscape painting, Over the course of his lifetime, Turner strove to liberate painting from an antiquated system of patronage, bringing a new level of expression and colour to his canvases. He paved the way for the modern artist. And I watched, what's it called? Is it just Mr. Turner? I think the film. The other night, and I absolutely loved that as well. And I've wanted this for a long time to understand more.
Did you watch it the other night?
Yeah.
Where was it?
What?
What was it on?
It was on Amazon thingy, and I bought it, I think, to watch it. I absolutely loved it, though. But this is just a beautiful thing to look at as well. It's quite big, and so I'm looking forward to reading that and understanding more about everything, because the film was great. It was very like, instead of portraying him as this sort of glamorous figure, he was very, very sort of down to earth and kind of very human. And I loved all that. So I'm hoping that this kind of goes along with that same kind of feel. But I need to read more intelligent stuff about people, learning about things I've discovered.
What?
Well,
your non-fiction, you want it to be more academic?
I want to kind of try and learn stuff. Yeah. So I'm trying to do a mixture of fiction and all sorts of horror stuff that I like, but I'm also trying to read and understand a little bit more about the things that I'm interested in.
Okay, so on that note, just like her, more highbrow stuff, I have this book about weird tales. It's called The Weird Tales Story by Robert Weinberg. This is really fun. I kind of didn't know what to expect from it, but one of the things is this was originally published in the 70s, and it's like a facsimile reproduction of the book, and man, look at that print. Can you read it yet? Can you read it yet? Can you read it yet? The print's really tiny.
Got a lot of information to pack.
Yeah, but it's got all sorts of a lot of this stuff is like this chapter 3 is an editorial that was published in the anniversary issue of 1924. It has a ton of stuff about the authors, the editors, and then in the back, chapters that I haven't got to yet, it has stuff about what the back pages looked like, what the table of contents looked like, the artists, who they were and how much they got paid for certain stuff, whether it was interior art or cover art, just all sorts of...
There's loads of art in there.
Yeah, there's a ton. And then the cover art stuff. Does this have my favorite cover? I actually want to get a tattoo of this one cover.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it's not in here. Of course. Is it? Nope. Is it? Nope. Yep. Boom.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This one right here. I think I want this on my arm right here.
There's a book with her on the cover. I think it's all about Weird Tales art.
Yeah. Right here in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's from some fucking weird story. What is it? The Vampire Master. The first time I saw that, there was this band a long time ago called Golden Smog, and they had an album called Weird Tales, and they had that picture on the cover.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but the album was shit, so whatevs. But anyway, I just love that picture so much.
Oh, it's class.
But yeah, so this book's really fun. It's a lot funner than I thought it would be. It's also weird too because the editor Farnsworth Wright, everything I've read about him before this book has been kind of not amazing. Like, kind of painted him in not the best picture. And in this book, everybody just absolutely loves him. And I'm wondering, like, because this was written in the 70s, so, like, what changed in people's view about the guy? Or, like, what's true, what's not. So stuff like that has been kind of... I have to keep, like, I'll stop reading it to, like, Google search things that I've read before, like articles and stuff. Because I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. But it's a lot of fun. I love reading about shit like that.
I know, it's fascinating.
It's really, really cool. So. Yee.
Okay. Going on to another one about non-fiction. I got this beautiful thing.
It's a Wonderful Life?
Wonderful Life, The Burgess Shale and the Nature of History, Stephen Jay Gould. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read this. It says, Gould has brought to light one of the least known but most spectacular paleontological discoveries of all time, and woven around it a brilliant tapestry of facts, theories and ideas. The Burgess Shale is a small limestone quarry formed 530 million years ago. In it are the remains of an ancient sea that nurtured more varieties of life than can be found in all of our modern oceans. Stephen Jay Gould explores what the Burgess Shale reveals about evolution and the nature of history. Oh my gosh. And this book is like, it reminds me of being back at university and getting all excited about stuff. Hang on, I'll show you. It's got all diagrams. I'm trying to find some.
Is that a heart?
No, it's a trilobite. Look. It's all the fossil stuff that he found and all kinds of discussions about everything. Oh my gosh. And I think I first heard about this from Steve Donahue again. Stephen Jay Gould. I think I'd heard about him, but I've never read any of his stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing his views on things, because I feel like I'm wasting away. I need to get my noggin working. You know what I mean? I feel like I need to get my brain working again. You know?
When was the last time it worked?
I can't remember. I like a lot of... I'll show you later on in the haul. I've got all sorts of like horror stuff that I absolutely love. You know? And all that kind of stuff. And reading,
but you want some more sciencey stuff.
Yeah. I'm reading Lonesome Dove. Oh my god. Absolutely loving it. Loving it.
Loving it so much that she even started watching the miniseries.
Yes. With Robert Duvall.
And Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, who I love. But I had to stop because I'm only getting a certain way through on the book. I'm like 44%, I believe. It's a 36-hour book. I love it so much. But that's what I'm saying. I love all the fiction. I love all the outdoorness, all this kind of thing. But I want to kind of keep my brain stimulated a little bit. I feel like, you know,
yeah,
I need to keep learning.
Yeah, me too.
I got him this.
I've wanted this for so long.
He has.
And here it is in my hand. The Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Historia.
Well, this is rising from the depths.
Get back, you ghoul! This book is amazing. Look at how cute Miyamoto is right here. With his little Zelda sword and shield. Ain't he adorable? Mm-hmm. So this book, it came out right around the time Skyward Sword came out for the Wii. So, like, a good chunk of this book is just about the development of Skyward Sword. And the importance of it is that technically Skyward Sword is the first game in the series, like, chronologically, historically speaking. So, it makes a little bit of sense. And then this is where everything goes crazy. And this book sent fans of the franchise into like kind of like an uproar, kind of like a thank God for this. But they finally came out with an actual chronology of the games and how Ocarina of Time, depending on what happens at the end, dictates the next phases in the game. So, like, if the hero is defeated, like, all of the games right here are the games that happened. If he wins, these are the games that happen. And then if... wait, what is it? If Ganondorf is sealed, these are the games that happen. So, it turns into, like, 3 different timelines. And, so they do this and then come out with Breath of the Wild and then act all tongue-in-cheek, like, we're not going to tell you when Breath of the Wild comes out. So it's been quite an ordeal. But just like the history of making the games and like what artwork they had for them. And I mean, there's like fucking like 20 games or some shit. So there's a lot of stuff to... It's a very large book.
You're getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, the book's pretty heavy. But yeah, no, it's super
Dark
cool.
Horse as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Dark Horse Comics and Nintendo got together to put it together. And there's another one called like Artifacts and...
I thought it was like the artwork.
Something else. Yeah, I don't really know.
I know, I looked at that one and I thought that was the one that you would probably want more.
Yeah, but that one came out, that just came out this year.
Yeah, the burgundy one.
Yeah. Whew. Next time I'm going to put one leg over there, I think.
Well, why don't you put one leg over there now?
Because I'm already here. So, that was an awesome gift. Been wanting that for years.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Reinhard Kleist, master graphic novelist and mythmaker, has yet again blown apart the conventions of the graphic novel by concocting a terrifying compilation of cave songs, biographical half-truths and complete fabulations, and creating a complex, chilling and completely bizarre journey into cave world, closer to the truth than any biography, that's for sure. But for the record, I never killed Eliza Day.
Whoa.
Nick Cave. Oh my gosh. Mercy on me. It's the graphic novel
of Nick Cave's life.
And I don't want to look at it because I don't want to get any... Just did it again. But I love Nick Cave.
Don't look at it.
I know. I love him so much. He's such a weird... But I probably I have told you before, when the Ass Saw the Angel, I read his novel. I think he's written 2 novels. Something of Bunny Munro. I can't remember the whole...
Don't you have it?
Yeah, it's over there somewhere. And When the Ass Saw the Angel, it's like a southern gothic novel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I loved it. And I was blown away because I just didn't expect him to be like an author as well as his music. But I do call him Nick Cage a lot, don't I? I get them mixed up.
She loves the music of Nick Cage.
And that's awful. I feel bad for disrespecting him every time I do it. But look at that. Look at the artwork on there. Oh.
She loved him in Con Air.
I get it mixed up. It's so bad. I feel guilty. Look, there we go on the back. So this is going to be, I got quite a few graphic novels, and this is going to be a treat to read. I still haven't read my, what's the monster one?
My favorite thing are monsters.
It's sitting over there.
I think I'm going to read it before you read it.
No.
I think it's going to happen.
But I have all these books and I'm just getting so excited. But this, oh my word.
You've been doing
excited.
good today, last couple days.
I'm going to show you. Should I do another one? How many have you got?
I have 3 left.
I've got 5.
Yeah,
6.
Do some more.
I'll do these ones. I got this one from my parents. Oh my god, my hero, Charles Darwin, Voyage of the Beagle. This is an
allegedly.
Oh, for goodness sake. Don't listen to him. We get into like serious, like horrendous arguments, don't we?
Allegedly.
Look. Look at all that. Look at that cover though. Oh my word. My friend got this and I was so jealous. The beautifully illustrated version of Charles Darwin's iconic expedition memoir. Charles Darwin's nearly 5-year journey aboard the HMS Beagle, which he began at the age of 22 in December 1831 and ended in October 1836, was a formative and critical period in the young naturalist's life and career. This account of his voyage around the world, which he published on his return, solidified his professional reputation in the scientific community and served as the inspiration for his most famous and controversial book on the origin of species, which today stands as the unifying concept of the life sciences.
Concept. Theory.
Oh my god, seriously.
Allegedly.
He's laughing, but we'll
she
fall
gets
out
so
about
mad.
this. I will.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh, just look though. So that's going to be an absolute treat to delve into. And also, just ignoring...
Okay, I have like 4 questions, but what are you doing to me?
I also bought this. This wasn't a Christmas present. This was an eBay purchase.
She's just throwing in books she's bought. What the what?
This I saw on Richardson Reads, who I love very much. And this, look, it's the biography by Brad Matson, Jacques Cousteau, The Sea King. I used to watch this when I was a kid. He used to have his documentary thing on a morning, and I can remember...
They used to have a lot on.
I've got at home a huge box set of all his programs that he used to do, and I can remember him diving in the Amazon with the pink dolphins that are in there, and all sorts of weird stuff. And I just used to sit like that with my eyes just like, oh my gosh, this is like the most exciting thing ever.
And there were so many fucking stickers on this.
Yes, because it was an ex-library copy. I got it off eBay, but I got really annoyed. There was all sorts of stickers that I had to remove. And
there's still some on there that she can't get off.
Yeah, kind of annoyed, but it's really pretty just as it is without the cover, so I might just... There, look. There's a little picture of the Calypso, this boat. Oh my gosh. So this is another one that I'm going to enjoy reading very much. God, I'm such a nerd.
Okay, so the questions and statements that I have. I just watched, not too long ago, the L7 documentary, Pretend We're Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, I can't remember what tour it was, but was it Lollapalooza? I don't know. But they always played before Nick Cave, and so they always partied with Nick Cave. Mm-hmm. And there's all this footage of them getting like fucking plowed out of their minds and dancing and stuff inside the tour buses. And then, like, doing dumb shit on the stage when the other one was playing. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty fun to see. Mm-hmm. Second, in Aubrey and Matterhorn.
Aubrey and Maturin.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever the story was that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he goes to Galapagos, I guess?
Yes.
In the book, how much of that guy's point of view about that whole event takes place?
What do you mean? How
Like,
much
you know how he's like a naturalist as well?
Yeah.
And he's like all excited to see all these things that
it's
he's
really
only read
important in the
about.
book. There's more in the book.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how...
Maturin is like the doctor, but he's also a naturalist. He's fascinated with all the species. So wherever they go, he has to go out and collect stuff, and he writes all his notes and everything. And he's got his own little cabin full of all his species and stuff that he's collected.
Yeah.
Why?
I was just curious when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
It just made me think about it.
That's partly the reason why I loved all that, because of the two, like, conflicting sides of it.
Because, like,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
Aubrey and you're Maturin.
Yes.
Is that how our relationship works?
Yes. But you would have to be like a sort of, I can't think of the word. He's like this incredible captain who can feel the water and feel this.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that from you.
Wow. Thanks, babe. I was just trying to make...
I would have to be kind of like, yeah, that's us.
I was just trying to make
He's
some kind of literary...
He is. Aubrey's very, like, bumbly, and, like, he says, like, inappropriate stuff a lot in public.
Wieners.
Yeah. But when he's at the ocean, he's, like, incomparable.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things like the ocean in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, possible.
Wink. Alrighty.
Okay.
Then Zoe got me Slugfest! Inside the epic 50-year battle between Marvel and DC by Reed F. Tucker. One of the things about this book that was shocking to me is how light it is.
I know. It's freaky.
It's weird because when you look at it, like your mind says it's going to weigh a certain amount, and then you pick it up and it's almost like it's hollow.
It's weird.
Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I've never had a book where...
It's like a big hard... It's not big. How many pages are there?
I mean, the pages are really thin. How many pages is it? It's
300?
Almost 300 with the index. But it's so light. Like, I feel like it's almost like carrying an ebook.
I know, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
I love that cover.
Yeah, the cover's great. I'm super excited to know as much as I can about the history of the two companies being basically at war. So, that is very intriguing to me. And again, this is the kind of nonfiction historical stuff that I like. So, it's kind of like Darwinianism.
I'm a science nerd, you're a literary nerd.
It's not called literary when you're talking about pulps and comics, but go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead, sugar bugger.
Okay, now I'm going to do these three together because I've just read all three of these. What? Oh my gosh, they're so good. I've read all three of these in the past few days, which isn't hard to do because they're only graphic novels, but they're amazing. This is Emily Carroll, Through the Woods. And these are like a collection of like little creepy stories. And they really are creepy. Like really creepy. Like nasty. And you remember me talking about my... which one was it? Was it the partners tag where I told everybody about my recurring dream that I used to have?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what she used to look like. This is one of the stories. It's called hang on. A Lady's Hands Are Cold.
Her.
Hang on. Look. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. You can't see it very well. But I nearly had a heart attack when I saw it.
This is terrifying.
This is terrifying.
This is terrifying.
Oh my god. Look at it. I couldn't believe it. That's exactly what she looked like. But these are like really, they're like sort of scary kind of fables, you know, like fairy tales, and they're beautifully illustrated. All kind of dark and creepy. Absolutely loved it. So that was the first one.
And that goes into my stack now.
Yes, Through the Woods, stories by Emily Carroll. That's that one. Then I got this one, Volume 1, American Vampire. And this is by Scott Snyder and Stephen King, which I was a bit dubious about. And actually, the writing, you can tell as soon as it's Stephen King because it goes into, like, filth. He's really, like, you know. And Raphael Albuquerque, who's the artist. Oh, my God, the art in it is so good. And I don't know if you can see that.
Show the picture of that vampire chick that you, like, show me every 5 minutes. And say, have you seen this?
Where is she? There.
So good.
Look at that. Now, these are vampires that you do not want to mess with.
This is not a romantic vampire.
No, these are like nasty, scary ass vampires.
Is it more like 30 Days of Night
yes.
than... Okay. Did you hit yourself in the face with
kind
that?
Of, yeah.
Okay.
And what it is it's kind of split into two things. You hear the stories about Pearl Jones, who's like a struggling actress in Hollywood in like the 30s. And it's also about, what's he called? Somebody Sweet? Skinner Sweet, who is, you know, like being chased down by the Pinkertons. And he's like this, you know, nasty piece of work who's violated women and murdered all sorts of people and stuff. And he's got like a penchant for candy. And it's the two kind of origin stories of them and how things are going, and it keeps flipping backwards and forwards between the different timelines.
Is it like Stephen King wrote one and
each
Scott
chapter
Snyder wrote another one?
Yeah, each chapter is split into two parts, and Scott Snyder has written, if you can see that, each chapter is split into two parts, like Big Break is Scott Snyder and Bad Blood Stephen King, and there's like 5 chapters or something in each one. And Stephen King does this I've forgotten his name again, Skinner Sweet story, and Scott Snyder does the Pearl Jones, but they're both connected, and it's all about the two different, like, European vampires and a kind of evolution. It's really good. I absolutely loved it. And I've looked, and there's loads of these volumes as well, so I'm going to be getting these like there's no tomorrow. Because I do like a vampire story, but I don't like wishy-washy vampires. I like some nastiness going on that you're genuinely scared. Like the John Carpenter's vampires. I always find him a genuinely scary
Really?
vampire. Yeah, he really scared me.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like nasty. You know, I like vampire, and 30 Days of Night, that's a perfect example. I do like the Bram Stoker and all that kind of thing, because Dracula is genuinely scary. But I like that scariness you feel when the sun's going down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you genuinely start to panic a little bit and think, you know, this is their time, we're going to be in trouble. And this is a really good story. And then the last one that I've just finished today.
That's one of my pile 2.
Is
Witches.
Witches. And this is like a super dark story, again by Snot.
Snot.
Scott Snyder.
Snot guider.
And this is like that. I don't like the art in it as much because it's a little bit. It's kind of a little bit confusing.
Let me see. Is it like distracting?
Yeah, because they've got like a lot of filters and stuff over the top. It's really good. It's effective, but you can't always tell what's going on. You can, but you can't always see what's going on, I should say. But this is like super, super dark. And it's about this family that moves to New Hampshire to get away from a nasty history that they've suffered. But there's nasty things in the woods. And it's really dark. And I think you might find it quite difficult because it centres a lot around the dad and the daughter, Sailor, she's called. And she suffers from anxiety and stuff, and she's a very nervy kid, and she's had this awful thing happen to her before all this happened. And he's like a super protective dad. So you might find this quite, but it's quite depressing and really dark. But it's an awesome story and very, very nasty. So if you like anything like that. And I don't know, I'm sure there's a second one, but I don't know whether it's out yet. This collects 1 to 6 in the Witches comics. But it's awesome. So if you like that kind of thing, you like a bit of darkness, go for it. It's really, really good.
Where's the other one?
Which one? The American Vampire one. Are you going to read that too? You'll love it. Really good.
Okay. So finally. Dawn. The new annotated Frankenstein. Holy shit. I'm very excited. It looks amazing. There's tons of color pictures in here. And I am going to read this on New Year's Day, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the 200th anniversary of Frankenstein. And we're going to do our Frankenstein tour of all of our Frankenstein shit.
We've got a lot of Frankenstein
Yeah,
stuff.
so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to get into this. Like,
he's been so jealous of this. Every time Steve Donahue showed it on his thing.
dude, he showed it like in 3 or 4 videos. I was like, quit fucking showing that goddamn book.
Yeah, I got really annoyed, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because when he first started showing it, it wasn't going to be out for like another 2 months or
that
something.
Was true.
And I was like, but yeah, so 200th anniversary coming up. I should live stream me reading it.
I'm going to be at work.
Might as well.
Again. Last book.
She almost didn't get that.
My Best Friend's Exorcism. Again, it's the one with the beautiful VHS cover. I just started reading it. I've read all my graphic novels, and now I'm reading this along with Lonesome Dove because I think that's quite a contrast. And this is basically high school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Like an unholy hybrid of Beaches and The Exorcist, My Best Friend's Exorcism blends teen angst, adolescent drama, unspeakable horrors, and a mix of 80s pop songs into a pulse-pounding supernatural thriller.
Please let me know if you've read this, if this reminds you of Beaches. Because I don't know if I could handle it if it reminds you of Beaches.
It's awesome. And I've just started it, as you can see, and I'm very excited.
No, I was rapping that, and I was
like kept it.
Yeah, I was like going, I could probably not wrap this, read it, and wrap it before Christmas. Or even if I don't wrap it before Christmas, I could just say it hadn't got here yet. I almost didn't. I was like looking through it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I read like the first page, and I'm like, can I do this in time? It was seriously one of the hardest things I had to do.
Wow. Look at it. It's just, it is beautiful. And it's got the please be kind rewind.
It's so...
Oh no, be kind, please rewind. And the VHS thing. It's just really good. And look, I've heard really good things about it, so I'm looking forward to reading this.
Yeah.
And I've started it already, and it's kind of like...
I totally could have got away with it.
Yeah, it's not going to take very long to read. So,
if it hadn't been for you kids.
Those pesky kids.
Damn, I should have fucking just done it. Should have just read it.
Go on, show them your last one.
Okay, guys. Put on your seatbelts and get ready for the ride of your life. Because we're about to go through 50 fucking years of Days of Our Lives. Oh my gosh. This book has it all.
My dad's got a lot to answer for.
This book, okay? This book makes me want to get a coffee table. Just so I can have this out. Yeah, you want to see Bo and Hope making out in a waterfall or something? Got that. Yep. You want to see John and Bo fly a plane? Done that. What else? Oh, you want to see some people dressed in Tarzan outfits because they're trapped on an island?
Talk about exorcisms.
Yeah, there's an exorcism bit in here. Gosh, I wonder if I could find that picture of Stefano.
I couldn't believe it.
This is so tits. Oh my gosh. It's just there's so much stuff in it. It's a ton of pictures, but it like really gives you a good sampling of beginning to the last 50 years. Because there was stuff you remembered in here. Mm-hmm. And I kind of can't watch this show anymore.
with all my might to forget.
Yeah. I've been kind of grounded from Days of Our Lives.
You've got
I knew
all
you were
day.
gonna gasp.
You've got all day to watch it to your heart's content.
Do I though? It used to be on Hulu, and then they took it off.
Yeah, they did.
Fucking assholes. Hulu used to have a ton of good shit, and they took it off.
Coronation Street.
Oh.
Took it off.
Oh.
Towie. Took it off.
When Tom was a beatnik poet.
Oh, you see, they lost me completely.
Look at that awesome shit. There's also recipes in here for some of the stuff you see them make all the time. So you want some clam chowder? Got that.
What the hell is that?
You want some pictures of topless dudes next to a truck? Got that. Fucking hate that guy. Sammy getting punched at the wedding. Snap. Ooh. And then Marlena and her Barbie doll.
Wow.
I love Marlena. We could just go through this all night. That's kind of what I tried to do with her.
Moved along.
Shut up. Because, like sands through the hourglass.
So are the days of our lives.
So amazing. Well, I can't find it. But anyway, this is a huge book, and I need one of these for Dark Shadows and one of these for Coronation Street.
I would love a Dark Shadows one.
I have a Dark Shadows book written by one of the cast members.
Really?
And it's okay, but it's not this.
No, we need
like
photographs.
This is like I need a coffee table for this in my Zelda book.
Yeah.
And the Lost Los Angeles. We need a coffee table so we could just stack books.
I keep telling you we need a coffee table.
The tables you are finding are not coffee tables. Like, you're finding, like, giant fucking things like that and shit.
No, we need low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a coffee table.
I've told you this.
Anyway.
Look at him blocking me out with 50 years of Days of Our Lives.
Look at Stefano as the devil when Marlena was possessed. It's so fucking funny. Good times.
So that was our Christmas.
Yeah, and that book is normally like $40, and it was on Amazon for $7. So I quickly put it on my wish list and moved it up to the top.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Have a happy New Year. Let us know what you got down below. Unless it's gonorrhea. Because then I don't want to know.
Wow.